1. Please come on to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's booting on up. Not sure how long today's stream will last. I have not been feeling all too well this week. A little bit under the weather. Okay, that's good. It's all online. Yep. Live chat windows are online. Microphone's working. Yes, it is. I check my other computer. And looks like everything is good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Howdy. Let's see. Oops, didn't mean that. I'm hitting all the buttons. Let me bring my text document of replays. I'll start off a warm-up, which actually looks like this one right here. Then I have 2 replays that were submitted into me, and I'll do those second and third. Last week I just had no sleep. I have been feeling under the weather. I think it's my allergies, seasonal allergies kicking in. Either way, let's go ahead and F10s. I don't know what F10 is supposed to do. Talking about the... I don't know. My mind's melted right now. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web not by Web, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the bottom right side is the Green Hawk. We got Sylar SK. Spawn on top left side is the Red Lee. We got Izanagi 007. Lee is of course a custom CO who uses Gelder or Gregor from the Valkyria Chronicles skin, which is actually, that's technically a 3D model there, or at least a picture of it. Standard boarding cost 3 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10, and if they start their movement in the CO zone, they get plus 2, plus 1 movement. I cannot speak right now. And for superpower, a nice simple plus 2. So he's basically the adder of Tiny Wars. Hawk is, of course, a custom CO in Tiny Wars. Standard boarding cost 2 radius as 30, 70, 120 maximum energy. As a plus 20, plus 10 for a CO zone. And of course, you get the Black Wave and the Black Storm. But the Black Storm will cost 50, while the Black Wave costs 50, which is a desync from all this. So you do have some extra energy you can keep left over for your next one. Either way, let's go and get started. Next map is a 3-base map, 1 airport. Both players do start with aircraft carrier, just primarily just to get seaplanes as an option. And of course, player 2, or was it player 1, I can't remember, starts with a weighted infantry right there, so very nice. I was exhausted last week. I did not get much sleep, and honestly, I'm not feeling well again today either. Seasonal allergies are kicking in. Yesterday, half my head was pounding. Today, not as bad, but who knows. Infantry, of course, it is the early part of the game. 6,000 fun, so could go for... Oh, CO's a infantry unit there. Maybe we'll squeeze out a bike this turn, but that will skimp out an infantry unit there. He does park himself in a spot, which also allows him to boost for 2 infantry units. Gotta make sure to move those guys first. And just infantry there, no bike. Give me a moment, I'm going to open a drink on over here. He always smacks out the thing, but I don't think it's that loud. Speaking of which, I'm thinking about getting a new microphone. This one's getting relatively old. Now to mention, the microphone stand is having trouble maintaining its angle. Do have a bike deployed last turn by Lee. Double mech there by Hawk. That's interesting. And granted, there's a mountain there, so it won't be too slow out the gate. But then the follow-up turn will not be that great. Yeah, 2 mechs is interesting. I'm not sure why you went for 2 mechs. It seems a little bit slow to me, honestly. You have tank, infantry, and waits the aircraft carrier. You monster. Does spot the infantry there. Will not be able to interrupt the capture, but I cannot speak. Tank, mech, and infantry. And there is double shore here, so you will be able to capture the city in the corner. Does pick off the infantry there, does not take time to fully capture it, which means it doesn't look like it can be interrupted this turn. This infantry unit's out of range. It will need a spotter first. Does CO the tank there, finds infantry unit there, so overall Lee has great capture game so far. Hawk right now has 16 versus 14, but I see multiple central properties will be captured next turn. And Hawk actually may get both comm towers, never mind, that is very important, that's +10/+10 global. Does get a couple strikes here, gets some 10 energy, his tank hits tank. Picks off another infantry there, so taking some early engagements. Right now 19 versus 17. Anti-air, commit space, skip, and tank. Picks off that unit there, getting nice even 10 energy. He could fall back in the HQ to get some repairs. May not be a half bad idea. Yeah, since Lee is more of course the mobility CO, means he's going to be a permanent downside. He can't really overcome it as easy. His aura only provides a simple +10/+10. Does get a couple good shots there. He went for the center. After all, you see these 3 cities in the center, and this one's still despicably neutral. But he has captured the central properties. But, yep, he will be able to start getting this comm tower soon. He has his command tank and a regular tank here, so he should probably contest it. Does find a tank there, lurking in the plains. Got a wedge formation of mechs. He does swap the artillery there. Scouts forward. He's going to have triple tanks there. Should be able to punch through this area and keep that comm tower secure. He also has a bike here for fire support. It would probably be a good idea to interrupt his own capture to help interrupt the capture of the comm tower. His tank is on top of his own city, and there's 2 tanks in the region so far, with a 3rd one in reserve. Mech gets boosted. Maybe a good idea to just park this infantry on top of the comm tower. Does find an infantry in there. The mechs, I don't think the mech play was good. There's a lot of counter units. You're able to get a lot of first strikes there. Tank gets a bit of recon run, and looks like he's going to be sacking the comm tower. He's not going to be contesting the comm tower. I think he could have, but that's Farcast's division. He has a core of 5 tanks here, which is quite significant. Lee will soon have 4. Lee has 14 energy versus 10 energy. Battle Copper heading down. Lee's at 24,000 for 20,000. Has a nice income advantage. Looks like only 2 of the mechs. 1 mech has gone down, the other one got hit. Tank will spot the tank. CO tank hits CO tank. Does take out the tank there. Hits the other tank. Hits another tank. Of course, out of CO zone, but does get a free tank there. Battlecopter tank. Mech and infantry. Yeah, this is probably too many mechs. Right now, honestly, infantry would be better just having more mobility. The biggest problem right now, I would say, for Hawk or Siler is the mech play. I do not like the mech play right now. It just seems too slow. Right now, it feels like regular infantry would be a better option. You believe in mech? I'll have to take your word. Lee has +1 radius. Does find a mech there. Well, at least that artillery could get a good free shot in that tank. And then follow up with a 2 health mech shot. I'll capture that city down there. Battlecopter can help intercept that. Artillery strikes the tank. Might as well sack the 2 health mech onto the tank. And not like much 2 health mech can do anything. Decides to get a bit of energy there. 32 energy. Does pull back there. Artillery, mech, and another tank down south. And now Lee is eyeing for the other counter, but he has multiple units intercept. I suppose this is the strong side. I suppose we get a whole mech chain going. It can help overrun the single base. A human mechapede, I like to call it. I don't think it's going to go too well. Push hit both those units up there. Anti-air hits the column tower, hits the other infantry unit. Mech heading up north. So in case the tank gets on top of the column tower, the mech will get a good shot there. Now the mech's starting to get the cover. There's multiple positions they can ambush from, rather than being open ground and on top of roads over here. Granted, the ruins provides no additional defense towers compared to planes, but at least they get some concealment. Sometimes concealment's all you need rather than cover. Get some good hits there. Artillery will be spotted. Gets hit by the mech. Mech hits artillery. Tank hits anti-air. He's taking massive losses up north. He probably needs to, no, it's not possible to get a black wave. He needs to move closer to get a black wave going. Let's see. Maybe a good idea to send the 5 health mech into the anti-air, then the full health mech into the 6 health tank. And after that, I'm not sure. Infantry mech. Try to get to that city. Another tank. Takes up 2 health infantry unit. Artillery advance to the forest. Tank mech. 5 health mech hits tank. Artillery hits the tank. The mech does strike said tank. The human mechapede is being somewhat effective right now. Anti-air goes down. Battlecopter, anti-air, flare, and bike. Flare does fire there. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. 1 health mech gets some good reconnaissance. Command tank, he's going to get some good power charge now this turn. Battlecopter finishes off some units there. Tanks run blitz away forward. Will be able to range the artillery. 64 energy. 72 energy. It's the anti-air, of course. The infantry unit may just take a pot shot against it. Anti-air, battlecopter, mech, infantry. Those take a shot against the anti-air, leaving at 5% health. Has enough for a black wave next turn, which might be useful. You could try for a black storm based on his opponent's positioning. The mechs are easily getting smited. And leads with a 44 energy. Does get some good hits. Leads about a full turn economic advantage at the moment as well. Oh, got a seaplane. This might be a turn where Hawk deploys out the Black Storm. There's 12 energy in front of him. Actually, yeah. Looks like no Black Storm this turn. Not enough targets. But he may pop the Black Storm either way, the Black Wave. Pops the Black Wave. Oh, the music's not working. I wonder if after the reboot did the Hawk's power and superpower music got broken. I don't know if I actually cast Hawk of a power so far after the reboot, but the sound effect did not go off. Might be something about the server reboot that broke that part. Meteor gets struck, hits the mech. Until he backs it off, has 1 ammo remaining. Takes out some units there, does hit the tank. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it was a replay bug. He has 30 power charge left over, and there's enough targets from him where he can potentially get a full Black Storm. He ends with 162, or start with effectively 120, add 20, so 140, so he's about a full turn behind. But there's a lot of targets in front of him, but he may need to use the CO tank to actually fight. He's going for another power, at least. He has enough for a power, pops a power, also buffs up some health there, allows him to strike this battlecopter better. A bit of damage there, takes out some units on the flank. Tank gets left with 1% health. And instead of 141, it was 116, so he has turned around a little bit. And, oh! We got Lee's super, so +2 movement range across all units on the field. This could be a game-ending push for Lee. +2 movement range is very useful to say the least. Battlecopter does block the valley. Let's check out the tank. Anti-air infantry. His our anti-air up north. Infantry, anti-air infantry, a lot of repairs. Insert 133 with the day-to-day income. They're actually still pretty even, though it feels like Lee's in a better position. Oh, take out some outlying units there. CO unit push way forward. We'll get some good power charge going. There's 12 power charge at the moment. Make that 20. Battlecopter infantry. Artillery gets a good strike there. Pulls back the tank. Artillery a little bit in open ground, but not necessarily scattered out at the moment. Anti-air mech and battlecopter with infantry. Does strike the flare twice. Takes the battlecopter. Seaplane strikes the CO tank, but thanks to the force, got a lot of extra defense stars. But hits thrice and gets knocked down. Hits the battlecopter. We have 1% health. You can CO the gunboat. Probably not going to do that. He may just CO the battlecopter down south. But it feels like Hawk is taking a lot of hits and is going to lose the column tower. Only way he can interrupt it is if he takes out this tank here and then hit it with this infantry unit. Or something, but of course the tank needs to be scouted out first, which this tank will probably need to be used to hit that tank to do that. Hits that tank instead, so he's going to forfeit the column tower. Does get some good hits there. Artillery will be able to strike this 9 health tank next turn. Missile, tank, and mech. The missile knows where it's for, knows where it's not. And you're probably going to CO this tank here. I doubt he's going to CO the missile. Also trying to flip this property. The income's still 24,000 versus 20,000. Into your tank. Nope, that tank's gonna get struck by a Vet 2 mech, and the infantry here did stop the anti-air. Interrupts the capture. Battlecopter, 1 health battlecopter does win the coin flip. Does strike the tank there with that mech. Tank does survive thanks to veterancy and potentially along with the column tower. 6% health. Tank, mech, and medium tank. Couple units to go down. Join capture, 17 capture progress. Oh, Air 2. I don't know what that means this moment. I'm not necessarily making any requests. And I doubt the replay was doing that. Maybe it is. Does not interrupt the capture. Hits the tank there. Another medium tank. So it's not re-CO'd a tank. Or medium tank. Does spot the infantry unit there. Does not get the shot on the mech. Not mech, tank. Hits the medium tank. Does have a superpower available. Getting a lot of good picks there. Spots the missile. Pops the superpower. ATR hits battlecopter. Regular tank hits missile. Mech blitzes, sprints towards the missile. Takes an infantry unit there. Seaplane takes out the medium tank. Yep, it's a clean sweep. I don't think Hawk can go pull back out of the game now, or pull off a win in this game. Artillery's in range of the gunboat. Artillery's on 2 ammo, but there's a rig nearby to help rig the game. Not to mention this whole flank hasn't gone just yet. Battlecopter, tank, and Hawk has designed this and grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Now on to a replay that one person submitted to me. I have 2 replays that people submitted to me. And strange enough, neither of them was actually meant for last week when I didn't make it to that stream. And so, here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars Days We're in Tiny Wars replay. Small on bottom left side is Yellow Tabata. We got Luzek, I think. Small on top right side is the Blue Will. We got Lei Wan. This replay was submitted to me, and I actually can't remember who actually submitted to me, so my apologies. Thank you for whoever submitted to me. So, let's go ahead and get started. Tabata is, of course, unchanged, the cartridge counterpart, and also invisible. Standard boarding cost is 0 radius, 30-60-60. All units has 60-60% in the CO zone. And of course, you get the Star Meteor, which always randomly targets highest HP or fun enemy. Has that description always been there? I can't remember. I wonder if there's also the indirect one as well, but like the Storm Meteor. Well, either way, when it comes to Will, he's also invisible and unchanged the cartridge counterpart. Standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30-60-60. All units get +10/+10. All direct ground units get additional +20% offense. And of course, all that gets applied global, +2 movement range. So, let's go and get started. Where's our music? Where's the music? Give me a moment. I think my, game is... I don't even know at this point. Yep, I think the, there was an error earlier about, like, too many quests, and I think that's causing issues. Just give me a moment. First time I actually read this line. I think the server may be a little bit laggy. It's now okay. Okay. Looks like maybe the server is a little bit laggy because some of these units are not making sound. I guess I'll just push on. This is going to be a little bit relatively quiet game. At least the music's playing, which may be a little bit more important. Just infantry so far. Top has 4,000 income, so likely triple or double infantry this turn. I wonder if I hit the pause and try restarting it. And nope. Sound's not playing. Let's see, don't have any network issues? Wait. Oh boy. Okay, and now sound's playing. After it lags. I have no idea what's going on. I have allergy headache, and the game is running slower than my own brain. Maybe I should upgrade my computer. Who would have thought a 4080's not a strong enough graphics card to play Advanced Wars, Tiny Wars online? Either way, we've got multiple bikes now being deployed in the field. This map is a 3-base map, one airport. Do have the first tank and commits a base skip down south. Likely going to be CO in the tank, though she could move to this HQ and then CO at the following turn if she wants to keep the ball rolling, which probably is a good idea. Or she could push on the strong side. Tank, mech, and bike. Another tank there. A lot of infantry here. It's probably a good idea for CO this tank and start picking off infantry to get that CO zone going. Because I was like the referencer. At first, she's a duelist / assassin, depends what you want to call her. Then she becomes a wall break, and then she becomes a nuclear weapon. Don't you wish your anime girls can become nuclear weapons all the time? Tank infantry. Is it right to call Advanced Wars stuff like more anime style, or is that just not accurate to say? Because believe it or not, they probably have a little bit too much detail to be anime related. Though then again, a lot of the old animes, they actually are quite detailed. I'm probably overthinking it. Anti-air infantry and bike. Because I never really associate Advanced Wars as like the anime style, honestly. Or should probably say better say manga. More manga style than anime. That's probably a better actually word for it. Either way, we do have, of course, the CO tank right there, which could pick off infantry in there, but there's of course 2 tanks nearby, so it may not be a super great idea. Tank, and rig to rig the game. And looks like she's starting to move her infantry down south, not even contesting northern properties. Both players do have, of course, 1 comm tower. Another tank, mech, and tank. Top of the starts here of 20,500. Captured the airport. This one will be captured next turn as well. too many tanks nearby to probably charge forward of Tabata's tank. Tank, mech, and tank. Well, probably should. I don't. Can't get in the battle copter this turn. The airport's still being captured. But both sides could stand to get out battle copter. Medium tank, artillery, and mech. Instead of 92, Talbot starts turn of 83. She's about a half turn behind. So we could see a battle copter from this turn. She has 26,000 money, so she could see any aircraft. Does pick off the infantry unit there, but the explosion was silent this time as well. Good to know those sound bugs this game. I probably need to, rather than trying to refresh the page after this game, just fully close out the window and reopen it. Artillery, artillery, and medium tank. Battlecopter, tank, mech, and artillery. Battlecopter, mech, tank, and artillery. Their front line's been drawn. I'm having the tanks go on the city onto the forest. Nope. Yep. So quadruple tank versus triple tank. One artillery in reserve. Medium tank is advancing. There's been not too much damage this entire game. Both COs are pretty low on energy. That was the first energy up given to the CO this game. Charge forward Will's tank. Tabata's tank's right there, so will not be struck. You know, a lot of power charge 40. If he survives this turn, he may able to pop out a superpower. Get strike there on tank. She still has 3 healthy tanks. Will has 3 relatively healthy tanks and 2 artillery in reserve. Has 60 energy, so next turn he can pop out of power. Tabata hasn't got a single point of energy. Pulls back the wooden tank there. Mech does suffer that tank there. Finish it off. Sacks the bike. Sacks the infantry. Interior takes out that unit. Takes out the infantry in there. Command tank gets attacked and finished off. No superpower. 7 energy for Tabata. But she's going to be shelled next turn. Not to mention there's 2 healthy tanks here. Strikes the infantry unit there. Strikes the infantry unit there. And finish off that infantry unit. Medium tank gets advancing. She may want to deploy out something to be CO'd next turn. Or tanks on top of the HQ at least. Medium tank, battlecopter, double infantry. Maybe go to try to leave Tabata's tank with 1 health left, with 2 health remaining. It may be a good idea to let her just stay alive, forcing either a join or a wounded unit to just lurk around. Tank, medium tank, and mech. Join some things together. Overall, Tabata just pushing back, falling back. 9 energy so far. medium tank, and commits a base skip. Will does fall back, just repositioning all of his units. Medium tank, battlecopter, artillery, and commits a base skip. Anti-air artillery tank. Nice diagonal line of infantry there. Both players have health known medium tanks right now. Looks like 3 versus 3 medium tanks. I don't know if there's a fourth one up here. Well, it looks like has a 1-turn advantage when it's become economics. Anti-air medium tank and bike. Oh, deletes that unit up there in order to prevent the power charge. After all, Will's at 24, getting 6 more power charge would of course allow him to get +1 radius. I mentioned getting closer to the power and superpower. Or should I just say superpower in this case? Overall, units repositioning. 2 medium tanks, 1 or 3 medium tanks technically in total, include that one. 2 medium tanks right here. Will has 2 pretty good groups of units. Talbot has still the same CO unit as she started the game out with, but only has 9 energy so far, has not been able to get any power charge going, so Will's doing an excellent job to denying the power charge. Overall, just more of the front line sort of shifting around. Got another medium tank and anti-tank. Does hit one of those infantry units there. Right now, Will's at 27,000 income versus Talbot's 25, so not too terrible difference. Got a war tank, battlecopter, bike, and commits another base skip. Gets a little bit of energy there. Going above 10, which actually is quite important. Help her even out. So 2 more kills and she will get plus 1 CO zone. If she can somehow get another CO zone, 20 power before the big conflict happens, which means she can push forward, get enough power charge, hope to get plus 1 expansion zone to help her break the wall with her assault. Overall, Will has taken some part of the map, also going to snag himself a prop in center with no interruption. It's a little bit more than just a anti-tank. There's 2 of them. Or 3 of them now. War tank, infantry, and regular tank. Yes, repositioning. Overall, top is slowly falling back. Still at 13 energy, but she will potentially snag a prop over here. And now Will has a healthy number of artillery. Top has a decent number of anti-tanks. Let's strike a little bit on the flank, maybe trying to hit this flank here, because after all, this mountainside in the way, it's going to be hard to transition units to up here. And I mentioned we've got medium tanks here, mechs, and anti-tanks. They're not exactly the most mobile of assets. This anti-tank will at least be able to range this tank here, and Will's at excuse me, 50 energy, so very likely just even the counterattack will cause him to get excuse me, a superpower, which the +2 movement range will be very useful. And I'm getting hiccups right now. Great. Tank, and war tank. It's the mech. One health artillery falls back, anti-air falls back, anti-air falls back. Looks like Top is just evacuating out of the area. Top is nowhere near close to getting her superpower. She needs at least 2 turns even to have any possibility of getting a superpower. Because she needs to get her energy above 20 so she can potentially charge forward, get a power charge going for the wall break. But at this rate, she's not even close even to that. Hits the battle copter a couple times there. War tank took 17 points of damage. And Will has the superpower available. He may decide to reposition next turn, and I deploy all the Fallen. Howdy. Yeah, it does feel like it's game over for Tabata. She just had not been to get any power charge going. She may have been a little bit too passive for tank. Even charging forward, losing her tank may have been a bit of a better option than being an extremely passive state. The anti-tank is in range of the artillery. It's on 3 defense stars though. Does get a kill there, of course, 23 energy. She's only chance she has right now is to launch all-out assault and hope she does enough damage, but I don't think that's going to be the case. They saw some tanks there. Anti-tank pushed the city. It's sort of strange. Will is, his CO effects always seems just simple. Doesn't seem too crazy, but I think it's one of the big advantages of having a 3 CO zone initially, because it just gives you a good amount of time to get power charge. Or Will's 2, right? 1, 2. Yeah, 2. So never mind. There's superpower. I think overall Will just did a great job of just denying power charge to Tabata for her command tank. Hits the anti-tank there twice. Medium tank hits the artillery, but left it at what, 1%? Yep, 1%. Does take out the command tank. Hits the medium tank twice. Does take out the anti-tank. Battlecopter hits the medium tank there. Medium tank hits the medium tank, knocking it out. Battlecopter hits artillery. It's an anti-air. Tabata probably should have left a tank on top of the HQ so she can re-CO it next turn. Bomber, artillery, infantry. Takes out a battlecopter, hits the medium tank, hits a medium tank, hits a medium tank, hits a medium tank, hits a medium tank. Builds a temporary airport. Hits the medium tank, hits the medium tank, hits the medium tank. Hits an infantry. It's another infantry, the same infantry. I think it's a way. I think of this way: when he pops his CO power, he gets a boosted offensive stat where. That's when against you also gets boosting thanks to the +2 moon. Yep. True. The +2 moon speed is such a nice aspect. It's not like a Advanced Wars by Web where almost half the COs has some sort of movement boosting. Most COs in Tiny Wars does not. And he's able to maintain his power charge by just playing relatively just defensively. He's able to get a massive counterattack. Will is at the 34 energy. It's a medium tank. Will's at the 53 energy, so possibly pull another superpower next turn. But right now, he has more than double the deployment on the field. We do have a Tabata war tank. He gets double time plus max blast all for 160 energy power cost. Yep. And it's ground direct units, so infantry and tanks is very useful. Of course, battlecopters are just or pretty ordinary, only getting the standard +10/+10. Maybe Tabata should have been building more battlecopters. We can pop another superpower. Bomber advancing. Anti-air, tank, and tank. Takes out the battle copter of the anti-tank. Strikes the war tank. But of course 3 defense stars of 1 health. Only did 3% damage. Yep, this game's pretty much over for Tabata. She does have a war tank on top, sealed war tank on top of HQ. I should probably nuke the nearby medium tank, or maybe tangle with the other war tank here. But having a best passive is not great. Yep, and there's your one more rally cry. The bike may be able to contend with this 1 infantry unit, 4%. While it has 10%. Strikes the war tank there, hits the anti-air, mech blitzes his way forward. Tabata's war tank goes down, could not seal the anti-tank. And so I captured the HQ, but the anti-tank cannot interrupt it. So next turn, Tabata will be going on down. Deploys out a temporary report, you monster. And that's game. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get to start next replay, I do need his restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I am back. Yep, Will did a good job playing that game, that's for sure. Just Tabata's only got like a handful of power charge the entire game. What am I thinking? Another replay that's submitted to me. This one here. Oh, this map is quite busy. Greetings everyone, Angrade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. This replay was submitted to me, and this map is a bit of a mess, so I probably need a moment to take a look at it. Either way, small on the south side as the blue Calder, we got Matemon. Small on top left side as the red, the Fanatic, which is also a form of Calder. We got a random guy. Okay, let's just take a quick look. This is Super Plasma. Super Plasma does not disappear when you destroy the nearby meteor. So destroying these meteors just simply give you a single path to get over here. So single path towards these cities. There's also an airport here which cannot be traversed through going through here. It has to be para-dropped or sea-dropped on in. To get to the seaport, you need to break through this meteorite. So an artillery piece here. If I even... actually, a gunboat wouldn't be too... yeah, I know. Maybe... no, a gunboat probably wouldn't be too great. It would be an infantry unit to go all the way to be boosted over here, and just walking a couple turns down south wouldn't be too terrible. So probably T-copter? Then again, to get this airport, there is a mountainside here, so an infantry unit can travel here, then T-copter get over... ugh, this map is busy. And there's a pile of shores here, so there is a traversable path just once we get through this meteorite. Airport over here, so there's 3 airports, 2 bases? That's interesting. There's also a seaport here. I suppose a battleship and aircraft carriers could be very useful. This map is narrow here. I have no idea how this game's gonna go. This map is busy as you can imagine. But yeah, it's a bit of straight to nowhere as well. Wait, is this straight to nowhere? It's a map popular in some like the in Supreme Commander and War Game Red Dragon. Nope. Either way, when it comes to COs, the Fanatic is a custom CO technically. Standard boarding cost 3 radius 36 to 60. All units get plus 10 plus 20 defense. If a unit is damaged, get additional plus 10 plus 10. And for superpower, you inflict plague on all units in the field, dealing for 3 turns your own units, 2 turns for your enemy's units, and inflicts 1 damage, denies join, and also can be lethal. Let's see, this is Nerf Calder, standard board. There's no minus sign. I really wish. Oh wait, there's a minus sign down here, but there's no minus sign there, so that needs to be fixed. Nerf Calder, standard boarding costs, 2 radius, 0 expansion, 0 energy. All units get additional plus 25, plus 25, and 2 health refund, which should still be applied. You can still repair with the plague effect. So this should be quite interesting. So basically at least 10 full turns of just prepping, I'm guessing. Looks like there is a pair of comm towers in the center. I have no idea if they're contestable or not. There is a pair of shores here. So it is traversable this direction. You do have a base on each side. Yeah. And you do sort of a recon in the back corner. You see what's being built from this base here. Could be pushed forward if you so choose. But right now, at this position, you could also spot infantry going across the mountain. Yeah, this map is a bit busy. A lot of meteorites in the backside, which may be a pain in the backside as well. I have a feeling artillery pieces to start, like right here, start shooting meteorites will be useful. But at that point in time, you may even need a rig just to resupply it. The amount of airports if you had a rig wouldn't be half bad for a temporary airport either way. It's one of those things I wanted to wait and see. I wonder how useful an aircraft carrier would be. Battleships may be pretty good, as aircraft carriers are to provide a surprising amount of presence in the map. So aircraft carrier probably would be very nice. Battleships, maybe not so much. Not a lot of traversable waters, but still could be nice. Got a tank infantry. This is 2 base. I have no idea. Oh, does get trapped there. I don't know how high each player's income will get this game. It's hard to take a glance of how many properties there are on the map. There's a number greater than 10, I can see at least. We do have a CO recon here versus a CO tank. Infantry. Does strike the meteorite, do a monster. Artillery, tank. Nice easy energy there for the Fanatic. Artillery tank. Medium tank artillery. For only 2 bases, you can go for a healthy number of medium tanks, honestly. 2 base maps tend to be heavy battlecopters. It could result in aircraft carrier play instead of battlecopters. Yeah, based on how the map is sort of shaping up, I do think aircraft carrier would be very nice. A battleship here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Would we be able to reach here? Strikes this meteorite twice. Oh, the recons don't have 1 health, they have 1% health. So even a machine gun bullet would take it out. Battlecopter over here. Those are the fanatics taking a lot of early fights. Calder, of course, is a recon here and tank. Artillery's in the forest, so not going to be easy to spot. Does take out that meteorite there. That's on top of the city, so it's hidden. Okay, it's just 7, but it's like on this map, you get the point. Yeah, 7 turns to get going. This is turn 10. Battlecopter, anti-air. I think this map would be a bit fine. I think honestly, if the recon little gimmick and all the meteorites just get removed, the map would probably generally be fine. It just seems, I don't know, busy. It could be the fact that the plasma pulsing and not have static animation makes it seem busier. Not sure. Did fire a flare to reveal the recon to get that out of the way as quickly as possible. This recon's still untouched here, so Blue's gonna get a couple more cities in his name. The name is Calder, of course. And it looks like this city will be flipped. Battlecopter, flare, and mech. Does spot the gunboat, artillery range of the infantry unit there. Calder looks like we'll be able to flip this city next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this tank here is in range of the medium tank, just needs to be spotted. Which is not probably going to be likely, because Calder's not seeing much up here, and that'd be not a great idea to blitz forward. Gets some nice little picks there. He has a healthy number if she can start pushing up north. Of course, this airport here, we do actually have a bomber deployed out last turn by the Fanatic. And Calder does only have this one anti-air over here. Does go for another anti-air over here. He knows, he realizes, I'm vulnerable to some... no, he has battlecopters here. But the anti-air will be very useful to deal with that bomber. Does strike the medium tank twice. Takes out the pipe, not pipe seam, meteorite in one shot. With hearing the jet sound, you may realize, oh crap, that's a bomber. Also, the fact there's a recon there spotting the bomber is like, oh crap, that's a bomber. Why am I thinking about sound effects? Recon's right there, and aircraft cannot hide in cities. They tend to collide with towers, especially if there's 2 of them. But there's 3 towers here, so you don't have to worry about that all too much. Does take out a tank there. Battlecopter will strike the tank there. Calder's recon does push right forward, so the medium tank will not repair next turn. The infantry and bike could. Calder has a nice ball of force there. This recon may get shelled. Granted, it is relatively disposable. It is a Calder recon. Bike, infantry, and duster. He realized that there's a bomber. Counter of a duster. So be useful against, say, battlecopters. That's good hits there. He could leave, not fall back with the bomber in order to keep it somewhat close to front line to allow the anti-air and battle duster push forward. But there's a healthy number of battlecopters up here as well, and this flank is largely quite damaged. He may seal himself into a duster. 50-50 chance he actually seals himself into the duster. Looks like the units are starting to transition to the left, which that's actually a good transition. Battlecopter does get taken out by the CO Duster. But it's there. His health and known battlecopters being very useful. Soon to be only a 5 health anti-air. The Fanatic only has 10 energy at the moment. rocket infantry. Infantry does get taken out. Does hit the battle copter. Can be restored up. Does hit the battle copter. Another anti-air patrol forward. The bomber could be struck. Let's see. This anti-air just needs to take out this infantry unit there. And it's actually going to be a little bit difficult to take out that infantry unit there. This meme tank, gets double repaired there. I forgot the fact that it can get double repaired. Could probably need to be used to take out the anti-air so we can hit this infantry twice. There is a C tile there. Then you can either use the anti-air or the duster to take on the bombers. Probably best to use the duster since we won't receive retaliation. So you can maybe use the anti-air here to strike the infantry unit, and then duster can sweep around and hit the bomber. Oh, he's going through the artillery. Okay. I was thinking about going through the infantry unit there, which he does not take it out there. 1% health. Maybe a little bit of bad luck there. Hits the bomber for a good amount of damage. Battlecopter infantry has total 4,000 funds remaining. He is playing very defensively here, and a recon up here would be very nice. In order to hit this CO Duster, this anti-air will need to go through the flare, which actually not too easy. Oh wait, no. You can go where the bomber is, and you can strike the Duster. Never mind. Gets a good amount of damage there. Of course, Calder will repair himself up. And looks like the recon did fall back into the city. Of course, this recon does not have vision airport, so he does not see the other Duster. Falls back to the Duster. Joins there. Got a seaport now captured. Right now, Calder's 23,000 come versus the Fanatics 22. Big key difference is the fact that both these cities and center are captured up by the Fanatic. Infantry, artillery. Oh, does find the recon there. You can fall back one tile, and it was like, oh, do you shoot the recon or take time to capture the city? In that case, it would actually be a good idea to start capturing the city because it's 1% HP recon. Yeah, I would definitely say fall back the recon right there and give your opponent a dilemma he has to figure out. Which both answers are good answers, honestly, in that case. Flare, flare. The Fanatic's at 59 energy, so he's very close to CO power. And if the flare waited right there, he can well CO power next turn. But of course, you need to stick out the flare on top of a forest. Does wait the gunboat, you monster, and decides to wait the recon there. Like I said, moving back down one tile is a good idea, because it may force the opponent to waste a whole nother turn. Bombers falling all the way back to the airport, looks like. The Fanatics captured the last two properties over here. Not Fanatic, Calder. Tank, anti-air, and battlecopter. Calder has 27,000 monies at the moment. Start capturing the city, but in range of artillery. Rocket, however, is in range of the artillery now, so he's going to use that infantry unit as bait. And I'm sort of surprised he actually waited his recon there. This actually may have been turned to a battleship. Tank, and battlecopter. Does spot the recon, hits the gunboat. The gunboat does get sunk into the bottom of the HQ. In range of artillery piece, not to mention the open side here. Parks the bomber back on the top of the airport. 1 ammo, 44 health, 31 fuel. Fnatic does not pop out superpower this turn. You may pop it next turn. Takes out the infantry unit there. Hits the battlecopter there, getting some good picks. Recon strikes infantry unit there, and again. Artillery down to 2 ammo. Takes out, hits another infantry unit there. Our rocket and anti-air. Does hit the max efficiency medium tank twice. No CO power. Bomber does take out that meteorite. Tank, and battlecopter. Duster. Calder's Duster is actually getting low in fuel, 29 fuel. Blair does take out the unit there, hits the Duster there, takes out the battlecopter. Rig T-copter ain't here. Hits the flare twice. Hits the mech. Battlecopter takes out battlecopter. Tank hits anti-air. Rocket is still hidden on top of the forest. Does get revealed there. Battlecopter will strike the rocket, but in range of Calder Seal Zone, so will be put up to 8 health next turn. And of course has the extra firepower bonuses. Goes one of the 8 here. Battlecopter, anti-air infantry. Takes out the battlecopter. Takes out the battlecopter. Hits the tank. Hits the tank twice. Hits the anti-air. Hits the anti-air twice. Hits the anti-air. Hits the anti-air twice. Hits the tank. Hits the infantry. Battlecopter goes down, hits the infantry unit there. Still no C units. I could have sworn there would be some sort of C unit. Does keep the max efficiency tank next to the Duster, so we'll be able to get resupplied next turn. I got these units finally pushing up north. Do now have a Calder bomber now in the field. Fnatic's at 109 versus 199. He is severely behind, and maybe a good idea to pop the superpower. If you're behind, the damage over time, the global damage will be more effective, but Calder, or the Fnatic, has resigned. This is Angry saying thank you for watching. Have a good evening. My mind's mushed right now. Thank you for Matimon for submitting the replay, and on to the next replay. Probably have time for one last replay tonight. My mind is mush right now. Let's see. Let's see, Forsyth versus Snowwind. Yeah, we can do that. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars Days Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Oh wait, I just realized this is the map where spawn north and south side as the red Snowwind, we got Benchwarmer. Spawn on the right and left side as the green Forsyth, we got the DJ Cat. Snowwind would be interesting. She can forward deploy her infantry units, infantry and mechs, which could be very nice, so she can commit both multiple bases on one side. Every flank has 2 bases, so she can commit more force on one side. She will not be able to para-drop stuff on this missile silo. It only can be deployed adjacent, so no weird shenanigans there. Actually, she can para-drop a unit onto this missile silo. I would say don't do that. It is an unintended design. Don't do that. It is because, after all, this doesn't require it to be ejected like a T-copter. It can be placed adjacently without worrying the term ejecting like from the T-copter, like I said. Don't do that. Don't exploit the map deficiency. And when it comes to CO units, or like I said, Snowwind's a paratrooper CO, standard boarding cost, 1 radius, 30, 60, 60. All units get 1 health recovery, fuel and ammo recovery, not materials. Aero units get additional plus 30, plus 30. Your first infantry or mech can be deployed adjacent to your CO unit. For power, you can also fire off a black bomb. For superpower, you can forward deploy an entire army. Forsyth is unchanged with Cartridge counterpart, has standard boarding cost, 5 radius, 0 expansion, 0 energy. All units get a nice simple plus 20, plus 20. If she's in a seaplane, well, there is actually a seaport there, so she can deploy herself into a seaplane. A what copter? T-copter. Not the Rafflecopter, just a T-copter. By skin point of view, she does seal this unit there. Now units can forward deploy. Let's keep an eye on which barracks, or not barracks, factory. Wrong game, not Age of Empires. Or Age of Mythology. Forsyth does seal a bike there, since he doesn't have to worry about power charge. He doesn't have to really need to worry about losing his seal unit too much. Snowwind, it's a good idea to, it is very nice to get her power charge up and going. However, forward deploying infantry units there is also very nice. Now she did para-drop a unit from over here. Bike, infantry, infantry. Goes for the seaport. Battleships and aircraft carriers both be very useful. Wait. There's no airport on this map, is there? I'm an idiot. Yeah. She can do it with a seaplane. Still don't do that. That's unintended map design. But yeah, now I think I understand if she's in a seaplane. Now I understand. Sorry, I missed that part. It's like, I'm just so used to the maps having an airport. There's no airport. What's an airport? Nope. Nope, I can't stretch my neck out like that. I might be an engineer, but not that type of engineer. Both players capture the radar station, which still provides income, but also 3 defense stars. Interrupts the capture, artillery and recon up here. Does sack the mech there, forward deploys a mech. Up to 10 energies. And to be honest, loading up Snowwind to a seaplane is still very good, so she will get plus 30, plus 30 firepower and defense, and also resupplies all the fuel and ammo that it desperately needs every single turn. So loading up to a seaplane is not a bad idea. Just expensive. Though seaplanes would be hard to contest, sort of, since you don't necessarily get out anti-airs. But you see an aircraft carrier immediately deploy out 8 years. Does take the bike there, so both players no longer CO unit on the field. Mech, tank, and infantry. She may CO herself into this tank next turn. Force if reloads up himself for a bike, a nice cheap mobile option. Tank, bike, infantry, and tank. And goes for an aircraft carrier. Just don't paratrop infantry unit on top of the missile silo. That's borderline exploit. I know it's tempting, but don't do it. Anti-air, tank, infantry, and anti-air. War tank, mech. Not enough money to apply a seaplane, nor seal this tank. No, could have sealed the tank, did not. Mech, infantry. Goes to the war tank here, not lose momentum. Looks like maybe Forsyth could have blitzed down south if she would have spent time to build a seaplane. There's already an anti-air over here. Just gotta keep somewhat close by to the aircraft carrier. Luckily, anti-air is also good for all the infantry that's in front of him. Got another anti-air over here. Anti-tank, artillery, infantry, and infantry. Seaplane deployed. A warden's going to be launched to the HQ. Mech, infantry, and mech. 25 to 21,000. This capture property has 10 capture progress remaining. Artillery in range. So 4,000 income difference. Big difference is the fact that both anti-airs are captured, and this property counterpart is... No, that's split. Both these central properties are also captured. That's the some asymmetrical differences. War tank is sort of straightforward here. Maybe some more tanks would be very nice. Help displace the artillery. You can start threatening the HQ. Possibly. Seaplane does get dropped off the HQ. Granted, a single missile silo is just 3 points of damage, which is very, very nice. Don't get me wrong. It will hurt, but won't be game ending. Right now, Snowwind's a little bit too idle down here. Maybe she can send some units over here. Maybe try to push both these flanks as Forsyth starts blitzing up north. You can seal the seaplane this turn. Has not deployed out any more seaplanes. $26 for 20,000 income. Another big point against Snowwind. There's a healthy amount of infantry here as a frontline wall with artillery and tanks in reserve. Making a threat to these properties now. seals the seaplane. Takes out that unit there. It needs to make sure it has adequate protection. That tank can easily get hit, then the ATR can hit the seaplane. Does have plus 55% defense in total. Maybe going to try to grab for the column tower here would be very nice. Hits the tank. Hits the tank there. Hits the seaplane. We'll be up to 5 health next turn. And this base is starting to get overran. Paul needs to go for an 8 tank, but the artillery's already ranged it. Yeah, at this rate, battleship would have been better than than the aircraft carrier. She may go for the power drop on top of the missile silo. She can also send this infantry unit here to hit this infantry unit there. That will put up to +2 radius, and then she can make some additional engagements. She'll get some power charge going this turn. Got 3 properties. I'll even out the income. Four deploys the mech there. Does not go with the missile silo. Did not use the exploit the map. Medium tank, infantry, and force occupy. Oh, 4 deploys the mech from this base there. Very nice. Hits the tank there. We still got a medium tank. Hits, starts catching up the HQ. It can be interrupted this turn. This medium tank will be not repaired. And tank is in range of the aircraft carrier. And maybe we're going to just pull the aircraft carrier back to this blue water. Two of these parts being captured up as well. Oh, wait. She had enough for her superpower? I did not pay attention to that. Why did she go for the black bomb? 5 AoE damage? 4 deploys, 2 artillery. Maybe she didn't think she could stop the capture. And I was able to 4 deploy 2 tanks here, so got a big wave of reinforcements. I think the black bomb would have been a bit better, because it likely would have struck like right here. Maybe it was just to make sure the HQ couldn't get captured. I wasn't paying close enough attention. Of course, next turn, both artillery pieces can strike within the CO zone, gains a good amount of power charge going. Base is currently occupied. If mechs can be 4 deployed here, then just leaving 1 base here for production. Tank, bike, and infantry. Did not strike the aircraft carrier of the anti-tank. Get some good hits there, 13 energy. Seaplane stops the capture, hits the tank there. Twice, 4 deploys mech, medium tank. Artillery range of the HQ. Of course, anti-tank in range of the war tank here. And then eventually this artillery here. So probably this medium tank will be fine. This war tank's probably going to be double tapped. Oh, they can't hit boats? I did not know that. My bad. To be fair, when's the last time you actually seen anything in range of a boat of any sort? Trying to capture the HQ. It's the artillery. Maybe I'll interrupt the capture with the artillery here, but she's just getting overran right now. 200,000 versus 100,000 has twice the value in the field. Interrupts the capture quite significantly. Occupies her own base. Aircraft carrier goes for a seaplane. 1 artillery piece is in range. Possibly 2 tanks to shoot at it. It should be fine enough for now. 3 defense stars. $25 parties versus 21. With the energy, she's actually getting pretty close to another seal power. This could be a forward deploying an army again, or should go for go for the black bomb. Seaplane is staying up. That seaplane that'll pop out will do additional plus 30, plus 30. Will that black bomb strike? I have no idea. And there's Seal Power. Does fire the black bomb. It landed right here. Landed right there. Severely wounding everything. HQ has 11 capture progress, so it did get interrupted. Seaplane strikes anti-air. Mech hits artillery, or another artillery there. Artillery mech. Out of monies. HQ has 16 capture progress, so 4 capture progress remaining at full health. Of course, this base has been captured. I say a rocket or anti-tank here would be very nice if possible. Strikes the aircraft carrier. Another tank, anti-air, tank, and bike. Remember, that's not interrupted. Needs to receive another. Does get fully knocked out there. Hits the tank. Hits the tank. Takes out the anti-air. This base is now exposed, but it's in artillery range, so it's not going to be great deployment. But that's just artillery there to counter barrage the artillery. Would have the support of now the 3 defense stars, but the CO zone. Insert 133, force and stars 169. SG seaplane will be resupplied next turn. Does get struck by anti-air there, but does occupy the bridge for this turn. Might be a good idea to load up the seaplane with the aircraft carrier to get some extra health regen. Depends on how useful 3 health points will be next turn. Infantry, 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 and medium tank. That was loaded up. Mech strikes the anti-air. Hits the tank twice. Keeps this artillery in a safe position. Mech forward deploys a mech. More tank. Interrupt some captures. 27 versus 19 properties. Still just hanging on. At this rate, a force that just made needs a missile here. Does have another seaplane, hits the artillery, maximum veterans the artillery back here. So no one's at 43 energy. She's getting pretty close to another superpower. She may be able to deploy it out next turn. Another black one would be very nice, to say the least. But I don't think much Silver can do much more this game. Pops a superpower there. Launch another black bomb. Deploys out another seaplane in here. And that turn was very short. Does take out one of the seaplanes. 1 out of 4 are now down. And starting to capture the HQ as well. This artillery will be at 5 health, so can interrupt the capture. And there is a bridge there, so this seaplane can come over here and strike it. And it's actually going to be a little bit difficult to actually eject the seaplane since there is units right next to it. Okay, probably eject the one to hit this guy here, the next one hit that one. And does resign there. It's Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay tonight.